Life's hard in the streets of Brighton. The constant uncertainty of getting enough to eat and finding somewhere to sleep that's both safe and reasonably dry and warm. So I can't help but worry about Esme. She's alone. She's pregnant. And she's a fox. When I first met Esme, it was early last autumn, the start of my ecology degree. I went on a freshers pub crawl, wearing the same beer company sponsored t-shirt as everyone else. I drank too much and I ended up in a crowd, skinny dipping at 4 a.m. Woo! Esme, though, has never felt the need to conform. She does exactly as she pleases. She doesn't skulk or keep close to the walls and the hedges. She's bold and swaggering, sass personified. Her fur shines like burnished copper. Her brush is full and ermine tipped. She's the vixen queen, and she knows it. And she knows it. I tried to make friends with the other girls I was flat sharing with before. It probably tried too hard. I had thought I was lucky to get that room. The third girl in the group decided that she wanted to take a year out from her course. So the room was empty. Only then she changed her mind and returned, wanting the room back. Suddenly she and the other two girls wanted me gone. Stupidly, I hadn't insisted on some kind of contract, which meant that I had to find a room in the middle of term when there weren't any vacancies. But I did find somewhere. I do have a roof over my head, even if the situation isn't ideal. I often spend hours crouched in the street or in a shop doorway watching Esme and other foxes. Sometimes I stay out until dawn. It's awkward now that there's the lockdown, but I'm stealthy and wary as a fox. I stay in the shadows. Police cars go by without spotting me. If I stay out all night, I can avoid even seeing Tim, who owns the flat I'm living in. Tim works at this DIY store, and they're open again now, thankfully. When I first met Esme, she would sit or stand and point her head towards the sky and screech. At first I thought something must be wrong, she must be in pain, but actually it's a mating call. Fox sex is brutal. The male bites the back of the female's neck, and his penis is barbed, and it becomes temporarily stuck inside of her. She screams at every painful thrust. I've watched foxes... I've watched, foxes mating, though never Esme. I don't think I could stomach it. Not with the way things are in my life. Male foxes do tend to stay with the partners, though, while the cubs are young, bringing them food. It's a relationship built on raising young together. I've called Esme's mate George. She can't be short-tempered and nippy. Ow! My parents live in Australia, and I couldn't afford to go there at the start of lockdown. I didn't want to ask them for the money because I know their business isn't doing well at the moment. Now, of course, it's too late until normal flights resume, so I'm stuck in this situation. Even if it is of my own making. I can't tell anyone but to Esme about it either. Because I just know that they judge me. When I answered Tim's ad, I knew what I was doing. It seemed like no big deal. The room was rent-free. And he wasn't repulsive or anything. In fact, he seemed quite normal. He said he'd only want sex a few times a week, and I thought, fair enough, I could handle that. I'd had a few loveless encounters before, I mean, who hasn't? And though I didn't fancy him, as I say, he didn't really turn me off. But I guess I hadn't really thought about how it was going to make me feel. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that at all. Tim isn't rough, but it's meaningless, mechanical. I am just an object to satisfy his desire. He has this girlfriend who's teaching in India at the moment. And our sex for rent arrangement is just, he says, a convenient way of getting what he needs in the meantime. But living like that was killing me. It crept into my soul and ate away at it day by day, week by week. So I'm becoming a shadow. I've managed to avoid even seeing Tim now for 2 weeks by staying out with my fox. Perhaps I'm gaining some of Esme's spirit. I'm becoming a wild creature. I have become. I trust no one. I show no one my vulnerabilities. If someone comes towards me, I shrink back, muscles tighten, ready to fight or flee. It's as if, like Esme, when under threat, my hackles are rising. I'm baring my teeth. Esme had her cubs. There are 4 of them. Her den is under some decking in the garden of this empty house. I saw them for the first time today. I think it must have been their first time popping their heads up above ground. Oh, they've got these big blue eyes at this age, and they're into everything. One chasing a grasshopper, the other one trying and failing to eat a worm. Living spaghetti. As I reluctantly headed home in the early hours, Esme was alert, agitated. She kept running to a hedge and then returning to her den. 2 streets down, I discovered why. The body of her mate George was lying dead in the road. There's more traffic at night now because it's when the supermarkets get their deliveries. Whatever had hit George looked like it had killed him outright. Tim told me earlier that he's having an illegal party tonight. He's invited a few friends over despite the risk of COVID-19. He wants to introduce me to them. All he actually wants to do is share me with them. He's even offered me money. I said, yeah, all right. In the meek little voice like the ghost that I've become. I took his stinking money. I nodded and forced to smile when he said, "And dress up for once, not those grungy old jeans." Now, the fridge is full of food ready for later. Pizzas, burgers, sausages, he ordered it all in earlier. Now he's in his room getting ready. Stealthy as a fox, I'm going to empty it all into 2 shopping bags. My belongings are already stashed in my suitcase in the front garden. All I need to do is slip out.
Foxes catch their food to make it last. Now Esme will have enough to see her cubs through their most vulnerable weeks. Me, I reckon I've got enough to live on for a while. Before leaving, I stole a chisel so I can loosen the basement window of my new home. My new house is far enough away from Esme to respect her little family's privacy, but near enough that we can keep each other company. Esme knows me, and she knows I mean her no harm. Together, living on our wits and what we can scrounge. I know we'll be okay.